Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from Blue Hawk Legend. I thought this was a great post. Nobody can guess what the price of any token will be. Why? Because you don't know how much money will be on that blockchain from whichever avenue: tokenization, P2P payments, B2B payments, SMB, cross-border payments, derivatives, stocks, binds, gold, silver, data, etc., etc., etc. And it's true. We don't know how much value is going to come to the XRP ledger yet. We don't know how much value XRP is going to move yet. We don't really understand how big this is yet. But let me tell you this. Everything that we see right now, it's leading us into that new financial system. And the value that's going to run across the XRP ledger, it's going to be in the trillions. And it's definitely going to push the price of XRP to a very high level in a short period of time. But what that price is, nobody knows yet. There's so much speculation about a set price as well. XRP myth busted. Flipping the switch is not a real thing. Let's keep it real for a second. This whole idea that Ripple's going to suddenly flip a switch and XRP moons overnight, that's more community daydream than reality. There's no secret lever, no hidden countdown, no Ripple master plan set to launch XRP into another dimension. It started as hype, got twisted by imagination, and now floats around like gospel. What is real? XRP's tech, the partnerships, the utility. What's not? A magical overnight event. Believe in the fundamentals. Question the fairy tales. I'm not here to sell dreams. I'm here to tell the truth. That comes from All Things XRP. But I think he's totally wrong. And here's what I said. There absolutely is a flip of the switch moment. It's not what people think, though. It's when the traditional system goes over to digital, and that's already happening. The digital transition is happening right now. This is when the banks will go from the testing phase to the live phase on the XRP ledger. When this happens, there will be a major spike on the price of XRP, or this will be when we see the set price for XRP. Either way, it will be exciting for XRP holders when it happens. And that's what I see as the flip of the switch moment, when all these banks go live utilizing XRP and the XRP ledger. But let's continue with the switch. This comes from Smoke. So the Bank of Canada says they're going to work well for a number of years, and then things are going to start to go wrong. You can fix it at the margin first, but eventually you just need to switch to something else. She believes the blockchain could be that something else. It's hard not to be fascinated by something so transformative. This technology is being used in ways that have implications for central banks that span all the functions that we have. Like I said, they're going to switch from what we have now to something else, to blockchain. And even Monica Long talks about the banks in the US like a light switch being flipped. Take a listen.
Yeah, it almost happened overnight from the election, where the engagement from banks in the US changed. Like it was like a light switch flipped. And so you think of banks who are offering reserve bank services to stablecoin issuers like us, or transaction banking services. If we remember March, the collapse of the Triple S collapse, Silvergate and Signature and whatnot, and that was a systemic risk to the whole industry. And so I think the more banks, the more distribution and that we have of banking infrastructure supporting us, the healthier the crypto economy can be. So definitely have noticed a change in that. The other big change,
like I've been telling you all along, the banks want XRP. The banks are already turning to Ripple for a solution. Ripple has plug-and-play options for the bank, an easy transition, and that's what every bank wants. They don't want it to be complicated. They don't want it to be expensive. They want it to be something very simple that they can understand. And that flip of the switch moment is eventually going to happen. And I don't think it's too far away now. You know, if we went back a couple of years, I would be like, well, we probably have maybe 4 or 5 years to go. Now, I think maybe we have a year to 2 years, and that's going to be it. It might even happen sooner with ISO 222. Why did the SEC choose Ripple and XRP to target out of the thousands of crypto companies and digital assets? The level playing field is here. Brad Garlinghouse laid it out long ago. Take a listen to what the Treasury Secretary says about a level playing field.
For too long, financial policy has served large financial institutions at the expense of smaller ones. No more. No more. This administration aims to give all banks the chance to succeed, whether it's JP Morgan or your local mortgage and loan. It aims to get capital to Americans who need it by getting bureaucracy out of the way. For the last 4 decades, basically since I began my career in Wall Street has grown wealthier than ever before, and it can continue to grow and do well. But for the next 4 years, the Trump agenda is focused on Main Street. It's Main Street's turn. It's Main Street's turn to hire workers. It's Main Street's turn to drive investment. And it's Main Street's turn to restore the American dream.
Banking community.
So think about that. He's just said for the next 4 years, we are going to get a level playing field. Take a listen to what Brad says.
There's a few banks that kind of sit on the top of the entire global payments infrastructure, and all the other banks end up paying them to help settle the global liquidity that's required for commerce, for small businesses, for retail. And across the board, it's kind of amazing that we still live in a world where to send money to London today, the fastest thing for you or I to do would be to drive to, well, for you, for SFO, for me here in New York, to JFK or Newark, and fly the money to London. So to some
And that's what's game-changing about XRP. It's going to level the playing field at the banking level. JP Morgan is now going to have competition from the bank down the street because everybody is going to be able to compete going forward. And then Scott Bessent went on to say the U.S. government is looking at regulatory impediments to blockchain, stablecoins, and new payment systems. We are so close as XRP holders. When they start to talk like this, you know this is only months away now. This is no longer years down the road. But what about the stablecoin? What about the digital dollar? They even call the stablecoin in this article a CBDC. Notice how nobody is up in arms about a stablecoin just because they changed the name of it. Perfectly executed. People are stupid. People outside of the crypto space don't realize what a stablecoin is, but the ECB called it out for what it is. It's just a CBDC issued by a private organization like Ripple. That's all a stablecoin is. That's all a CBDC is. It's just a stablecoin. But it looks like the ECB, they want to stay in control. So they're going to push out the digital euro, central bank digital currency, because Christine Lagarde doesn't want to give up any type of power to someone else. She wants to keep that power at the central bank. Here in the US, Donald Trump pivoted away from the Fed and decided to go with a private company. That's why we're going to have a digital dollar stablecoin instead of a central bank digital currency. Coinbase says XRP utility in ODL makes it attractive to financial institutions. What have I been saying all along? It's all about on-demand liquidity and utility. While many community members focused on the impact of Coinbase self-certified XRP future contracts, Wrath of Commons shed light on some details in the filing disclosure. The exchange noted that one of XRP's primary use cases revolves around its ability to facilitate cross-border settlements through RippleNet and on-demand liquidity. It defines ODL as a service that leverages XRP as a bridge currency to facilitate real-time currency conversion. The exchange emphasizes that this utility helps reduce processing times and transaction costs for corporate payments. Based on XRP's ODL utility, Coinbase noted that the coin is attractive to financial institutions, remittance services, and payment providers seeking more efficient settlement methods. The problem with SWIFT is it doesn't settle. Ripple is messaging and settlement, and that's what's game-changing about RippleNet. That's why we're going to watch Ripple steal more and more business away from SWIFT over time. But Coinbase is telling institutions this cryptocurrency has utility. It provides on-demand liquidity. I think that's great because the institutions, they don't really understand everything about crypto. They just know there's a demand for certain cryptocurrencies. But when they finally figure out that XRP can fix problems with their company, with their bank, that changes things because now they see it as something that benefits them. Pundits share how XRP could benefit from the Ripple acquisition of Hidden Road. And again, this covers everything I've been telling you. XRP is not being sidelined in any way. RLUSD and XRP are going to complement each other. Even Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz have both confirmed integrating the XRP ledger into global capital markets, leading to a new phase for XRP's utility. They're telling you this is going to bring more utility to XRP, and it's going to drive up the price of XRP. But right now, everybody's up in arms thinking that RLUSD is now the path forward instead of XRP. You got to think bigger, and you got to see what XRP is built to do. It's going to be moving all of this value. It's also the gas token for RLUSD. Now, think about liquidity pools. Think about them setting up massive liquidity pools for XRP to move value from one business to another, one country to another, one person to another. It could be anything. People are going to hold this cryptocurrency because it has utility. And it's going to be locked away by some of these financial institutions for very long periods of time. And the demand is going to rise, and the price is going to rise with it. Here's Fred Rispoli. Take a look at what he said about the SEC versus Ripple case. He expected to see something happen on or before next Wednesday, 4/16, the due date for Ripple's appellate brief. Ripple cannot get an extension and either has to file it, which is a 10% chance, or there will be a notice of settlement and withdrawal. That's a 90% chance. Brad already said the case is done. Now we have Atkins at the SEC. So I'm thinking Atkins is going to be the one that comes out and makes that public announcement. I think that's what we were actually waiting for, him to come to the SEC. I don't think UADA wanted to talk about it at all, because they already figured that once Paul got there, that would end the case. But like I always tell you, you know, whenever you see something, you got to look more into it. Don't listen to what other retail investors are saying. Look at the facts around it. Look at what Brad Garlinghouse said. Look at what David Schwartz said. Look at what Monica Long is saying about that acquisition and how it benefits XRP. It's gonna give you more money in your portfolio over time. And 3 trillion out of the gate that they're dealing with now, that's going to grow. That's going to become 4, 5, 6 trillion in a short period of time. Ripple made their investment of over $1 billion. They're going to want to get their investment back in the short term. But until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.